who am I when I allow myself to simply exist as me and not as different fragments of my identity. Okay, tell me if this is just a me thing, but I've really been falling in love with oat milk. We're back. I just got this oat milk from Better Goods. Have my shake and espresso. I got some watermelons. I got it at like my just like local grocery store, but it's pretty good. Extra creamy oat milk. And if you hear the dogs clinking in the background, it's because there are fences up in the house so that they cannot get around because it was prom yesterday for my little sister. Actually, my dad got it for me because I asked him for it. Yeah, and then I have my handy dandy Nespresso, which thank goodness. So they had like a little banner. Oh, I was able to bring that home from school, and I literally was not able to use it at school at all. And so I have all of these Nespresso pods. And show you. They have this like little setup thingamajig that have gone unused, and I've been using them finally now that I'm home. And then my mom got this new ice maker, and it makes like the Sonic ice, and like Sonic ice is like super good. Now we're here, and her boyfriend, who's like the sweetest kid on planet Earth, he is like super allergic to animals. So speaking of which, okay, I just lied. I got two. I think I'm actually gonna do a shake and espresso, which is kind of a problem because my sister loves animals. And I do too. Shake and espresso with oatmeal. That's what we're gonna do. I visualize a future and I can see a future. I see an apartment with 2 cats. How my sister's prom makes me think about my future, I don't know. I guess maybe seeing relationships and not having them, I've just kind of like expected that I'm going to be like single and like living alone in an apartment with 2 cats. And it's like, I want that. I want that so badly. Like I love being single and having time to myself and doing things. But it's definitely like weird trying to visualize a future with someone else. And like I see a future for myself, a business, and I see creating and I see being creative. Like I don't see anything or visualize anything other than like my creativity being my outlet. But I don't know like who or what that includes, and that makes me very uncomfortable. But I think that I struggle to actually make it tangible because I know that it's going to happen, but nothing is going to happen if I don't take action. It's literally this entire chapter of my life right now. It's a chapter of discomfort. Being 19, I'm really like standing on this tightrope of being a child, but being so close to being an adult, yet so far from being an adult. And it's like, I don't know, it's just this constant like ebb and flow of being like so close yet so far at the same time. And I'm afraid that feeling is never going to go away, and I don't think that it will. I think that's just like a part of existing. I think it makes it just that much more uncomfortable. Being so young and still like relying on other people, but wanting to rely on myself and like being super independent yet so dependent. That really shows with being home and back on the East Coast. I've had a very tricky relationship with the hometown that I'm in. Nonetheless, here I am. It's 10 in the morning. Woken up. I fixed my sleep schedule. Finally, it only took a week. Woke up at 7. I'm doing my usual things that I did at school that really like made the biggest difference. But yeah, it's weird that I can't just like hop on a trolley in the bus and go to the beach. And here I am sitting here. I mean, like I have a car, but it's not San Diego, but I'm still very blessed. It's a very weird chapter. I'm being 19, it's weird. I'm in this very like intermission period of my life that is so uncomfortable. Navigating what does my life look like and how do I like put my life out there, if that makes sense. And like I'm so afraid that I am uninteresting if not in a singular format, if it is not in this very like journalistic and raw and vulnerable writing married to a very cinematic filming and editing process. And it's like I have to be okay and be comfortable with like experimenting with different styles and like, different ways of expressing my livelihood and expressing who I am as a human being. I'm constantly telling other people that they have the right to evolve and they have the ability to evolve, and it's like I don't let myself do that. But I think that at the end of the day, I've also realized that evolution is simply looking back what I've abandoned and reverting back to it. I know that sounds so odd, but it's like all of the missing pieces that I've had have been found in the things that I used to love. I think about it and it's like I was trying so hard I tried so hard to convince myself that I could be like a STEM person. I wanted to be like a director. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a performer. And now it's like I get to do all of those things in one. The layer of true authenticity isn't there anymore. I think it's coated by this extra layer of discomfort. Again, I really think it's that I did something really scary and I followed everyone back that I know and love on Instagram, which is so odd because I used to have like a personal and a main Instagram, and wanted this vulnerable version of me to be separate from the aesthetic. I was constantly at war with myself because I was constantly separating different versions of my identity and placing them in different like pockets of the internet. Because on one side, hundreds of thousands of people only see me as like this very vulnerable, this very deep, this very introspective and pensive person, and kind of like a sad person. I've been getting a lot of DMs about that and a lot of comments, and it's like the things that I post, I think that people are starting to perceive them as being sad all the time. That's not the voice that I'm trying to like share. I think that I use vulnerability as my tool for authenticity, not, I don't know, not as like a weapon of pity. Again, it's like that constant tightrope. It's that tightrope of being 19. It's the tightrope of being too positive and too negative. Who am I when I allow myself to simply exist as me and not as different fragments of my identity and putting them in different places? Because again, the people that I love, they were seeing this very, very like curated aesthetic version and on one page, and then it was like on the other it was like very vulnerable. Like a lot of people that I love don't know where to put me in their lives, and honestly I don't know where I belong in their lives either, and I don't know where people belong in mine. Restricting their access from my vulnerability I thought was helping me, but I don't think that it is. And I think that like I'm just trying to allow myself to exist in a way, like exist on the internet in a way that feels like genuinely authentic to me, whether it is like sharing the routines, it is sharing the YouTube videos like this where I'm literally sitting on the floor drinking my caramel shake and espresso with oat milk, because I love oat milk. I love oat milk. That's such a random, like, what is with me? I came to this conclusion. What does showing up as me look like? What does it look like? And I think that it looks like this, and like I just have to sit with the discomfort of like not everyone's going to love that, and not everyone's going to love me, and not everyone is going to like sit with every version of me, because every person deserves to show up as like a different like, if this is a chapter of my life, the chapter may close for other people because they don't see themselves in my life the same way. They might not be in that intermission period that I'm in. And I think that putting myself forward on the internet in that way is just like very, very uncomfortable and very difficult. I would love to know your thoughts. Comment on here if you have a message that I have not replied to. Please like put your Instagram tag like in the comments and say that I haven't like replied. If you want to do like a little rosebud thorn in the comments, do that. Like what is something that's like, what's something that's going so well in your life? That's a rose. Something that like a thorn is like something that's not going well, and then a bud is like something good is coming. I'm in a very bud period. Like I was kind of in the thorn of it all. I'm in the bud and the rose will come. But I think that right now a rose, actually I'm gonna start with the thorn. Thorn is like being home is super duper hard. I don't like being in my hometown. It makes me nauseous, which is a little bit hard. But a bud is that like I'm getting into routine, I'm finding my place here, I'm navigating my space here. And then the rose is like I'm sleeping in my own bed. I have my own shower. I can use my Nespresso machine. I have a car. I can be grateful for that. But yeah, anyway, sincerely yours, AJ. I love you.